Hello, Dungeon Masters. This week, I wanted to start another Dungeon Run series of videos. I enjoyed making the pyramid set of maps, so why not? This map took around 45 minutes to make in real time. In this map chain, I've decided to follow on from last week's village map. The players began an investigation into some issues suffered by a local village. The players agreed to help them out, after a tough few seasons of bandits hitting any merchant caravans heading to the village, and the mysterious crop death in the surrounding farmlands. After investigating, the players come across a clue from a defeated bandit that the nearby church and monastery seems to have hired them to block new goods making it to the village. Silly interruption warning. Sometimes when making a map, you realise you have also made a pixel art spaceship and it makes you smile. Always enjoy what you're doing. Pew pew pew! Little do the adventurers know, the monastery was home to good folk only a year ago, but a botched ritual by one of the curious yet foolish acolytes set in motion several possessions. When winter came and the monastery was locked to the outside world, the possessed began to twist the faithful in their dreams and corrupt the normally cleansing rituals into profane ones. The cult, now growing, set its sights on the village to bring more into its fold. Now, this should be enough teaser text to get you most of the way to fleshing this adventure out. I would do more, but I need to make sure this video doesn't end up being 3 hours long with a random Games Master's thought session. I will give you some descriptive text for the approach to the building, and then some for the inside. I would likely have the cult allow the players inside, whilst maintaining the ruse of being holy folk. Only then to slam the door closed and attempt to capture them, likely to attempt a ritual to corrupt them or possess them too. One of the corrupt priests will hold a key to the door leading down into the depths of the monastery. If the party has a priest, paladin, or someone who can sense evil, I would give them verbal warnings, or at least a test to sense if something is amiss before the trap is triggered, so they are not surprised. If they are particularly devout, I would potentially give them some resistance to the corruption in the area that will have an effect on the others. You could even have a very weak version of a layer action trigger once in this fight to warn the players of potential layer actions for any boss fights later. Forewarned is forearmed after all. So let's get the description out of the way so you can paint the picture for your players. Okay, so the description of the monastery from outside. Rising majestically against the backdrop of a brooding sky, an imposing stone monastery stands as a solemn sentinel amidst the silent hills. Its ancient stones, weathered by the passage of centuries, bears the weight of history and reverence. The grass in the local area looks sickly, thin, and wilted. Perhaps this area is also affected by the issue that is causing the crop death. Approaching the monastery, you see a cobblestone path runs along the front of its grounds, guiding visitors towards its vulnerable entrance. This path, well trodden and edged with moss, speaks of countless souls who have traversed its length, each seeking solace or offering prayers within the church's hallowed halls. Likely, pilgrims would travel here to seek refuge before moving on to the next location in their holy quest. The stones themselves, uneven yet steadfast, whisper stories of the past, inviting reflection with each step taken upon them. The moss, on closer inspection, seems to be coated in a terrible smelling yet clear pus-like excretion. Flanking the church, 2 crypts stand as guardians of memory and legacy, their walls etched with the family names of those who rest within. These silent chambers, carved from the same stone as the church, hold the remains of notable figures and ancestors, their stories interwoven within the very fabric of the monastery and its community. The presence of these crypts adds a layer of mystery and ancestral honour, emphasising the monastery's role as a keeper of history and a bridge between the mortal world and the eternal. Along the perimeter, a stone wall delineates the sacred ground, with numerous graves nestled within its protective embrace. Each headstone, some grand and others modest, marks the final resting place of individuals who once called this place home. The graves, arranged with reverence and care, form a silent congregation, each stone a testament to a life lived and a spirit remembered. The front of the church is adorned with a vibrant display of flowers. These flowers, meticulously cared for, sadly look worse for wear. They line the bushes along the stone wall and are also cradled in carved flower pots nestled against the monastery itself. Their presence introduces a little muted colour to the permanence of the stone. If they were healthy, they would be a reminder of the beauty that flourishes in the presence of faith and community. As you draw closer to the monastery, the imposing structure reveals details carved by artisans' hands. Intricate motifs that speak of devotion, towering spires that reach towards the heavens, and grand doors that stand ready to welcome all who seek refuge or enlightenment. Okay, so that should get them into the area outside the church so they can do some early investigation outside. You know, investigating the graves or inspecting the flowers and the crypt entrances. Eventually though, they'll knock on the locked doors, and they will be ushered inside by the priests, and then you can read the next bit of description. As you cross the threshold into the church, the air shifts palpably, enveloping visitors in a hushed atmosphere that seems to pulse with hidden depths. The interior, bathed in the ethereal light filtering through stained glass, reveals a floor adorned with mesmerizing blue tiles. Among these celestial patterns, lighter tiles emerge, each intricately carved, not just with symbols of the gods known to the common faithful, but also with some esoteric sigils, whose meaning is not immediately clear. These mysterious icons, subtly interspersed among the familiar, whisper of deeper arcane knowledge, suggesting a confluence of beliefs held by those who walk these halls. Sorry, I must interrupt here and just note that this is that moment I was talking about earlier about giving a warning to the players who are faithful. Those symbols suggesting a confluence of beliefs is the point to warn them about, and probably where I would trigger the fight. Then, the rest of the description will make more sense. Okay, hopefully I've explained that well enough. Let's get back to that description. The main room of the church extends grandly before its visitors, its spaciousness echoing with the remnants of chants and prayers. Within this sacred assembly, two statues to the left and right of the doorway command attention, not only for their divine representations, but for the almost imperceptible symbols at their bases. These symbols, known only to a select few, mark the presence of a belief system that veers into the shadowy realms of the mystic, hinting at the church's dual role as a sanctuary for those who seek enlightenment beyond the orthodox teachings. Pews aligned with reverential precision face the altar, a focal point of worship and clandestine rites. The wooden benches topped with well-used pillows, polished by time and use, have borne witness to generations seeking solace and guidance. Adjacent to the main room, two side chambers nestle, serving as one of the living quarters for the monastery's caretakers. These spaces, though humble, are saturated with the intensity of study and secretive gatherings. It's within these walls that the lines between clergy and cult blur, where the dedicated not only serve the spiritual needs of the community, but also weave a more complex tapestry of belief, one that seeks to ensnare the hearts and minds of the unwary. Behind the altar, a discreet door leads to the cellar, a labyrinthine network connecting to the crypts. This underground passage, with its cool, earthy embrace, houses more than just the relics and the ecclesiastical supplies. It serves as a meeting place for the initiated, those who delve into rituals and practices shrouded in mystery. This church, with every carefully placed symbol and secret gathering, stands as a beacon not only of faith, but of a deeper, more insidious quest for influence. It's here, among the pews and beneath the sacred effigies, that a cult has woven itself into the fabric of the church, casting a net for the souls of the local peasantry. Through subtle hints and whispered promises, they seek to expand their fold, using the monastery's sanctity as a cover for their true intentions. Drawn by faith, but ensnared by the allure of the hidden and the forbidden. I hope you enjoyed this video. I also hope you're looking forward to the rest of this cultist dungeon. Let me know if there's anything I can add to my videos that would be helpful to you as a games master. As always, please help us make more videos for you. It's free and easy. Hit that like button and sub if you want more. Leave a comment below to tell me what you would like to see next. And as always, may the dice ever be in your favour.